Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so the score is 58-49 at the half. The Lakers have cut it to 9 after being down by as much as something like 16, maybe a little more than that. I'm enjoying this game to no end, man, just because the Lakers are back. We got a refreshing energy down there, a different coach at the helm, young players that you've been wanting to see more of are on the floor getting their run. And I'm even though we haven't been necessarily winning, I'm thrilled. I'm having a great time watching this basketball game. No Bron, no AD, no Julius Randle on the other end, no Ant-Man on the other end. So that report that we talked about this morning, flip that. Okay, that report we talked about in regards to the injuries, they throw that out the window. Jalen Hood-Schifino's out there, Terrence Shannon's out there, so that I'll never trust injury report again. That's basically how I feel about this game. Our young guys look pretty good, man. I gotta say, I am really impressed with Max Christie. He looks great out there. He hit some shots. He was getting rebounds, deflections. Jackson Hayes stood out to me. Pick and roll situations, driving at the rim. Bronny James had 2 blocks in this game in the first half. Didn't hit no shots, but had a really nice sequence where he blocked one of Dillinham's layups and then came down and got an assist off to Rui Hachimura. Definitely the type of stuff you want to see. The high man for our team is Austin Reeves. I believe he has 10 points. Kind of cold for the most part, but did hit 2 threes at this point, so he's been aggressive. D'Lo Russell, I think, has about 4 or 5 rebounds. Max Christie has about 4 or 5 rebounds. Stats, as we go forward, I will get a little more equipment into the rhythm of remembering stats a bit better. But I do know that they shot 44% from the 3. We shot 44% from the field. Both teams have 8 turnovers. We have 6 blocks as a team, so you definitely like the defensive intensity out there. And I'm really happy to see young guys get run, man. Jalen Hood-Schifino, really love what I'm seeing from him. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. That mid-range jumper, as I told you guys, his game is pick and roll, pick and pop situations where he shoots the mid-range. I told people, like, Darvin Ham didn't utilize him in any way to do what it is that he's supposed to be doing. His skill set is a lot better utilized tonight. Obviously, it's very early, but you could see what it is that you drafted him to be. He is a pick and roll guy who can make plays for others, has a big body. You could see how he fouls hard. I love the fouls that he had, believe it or not. One against Terrence Shannon where he took him to the ground, and another one where it looked like it should have been considered a block shot on Rob Dillingham. Dilly thought he was going to drive into some trees. Him and Jackson Hayes met him at the summit, and Jalen Hood-Schifino got a whole lot of ball. So that length is really helpful out there. And then you saw the 2 jump shots that he took. You take a look at those mid-range jump shots. Go back and look at the highlights of this game. Jalen Hood-Schifino is a mid-range shooter. He shoots mid-range shots like a lot of players shoot layups. And when you think about players who make a living in this league off of the mid-range, they are really successful in a lot of cases. And I don't see why he can't, if utilized correctly, become one of the best mid-range jump shooters in the NBA. It's his game. It's just what he does. And he did it consistently in college. And tonight you saw him take 2 mid-range jump shots that show you what it is that his game is really about. I like how JJ is utilizing Jalen Hood-Schifino. And if we can utilize him like this going forward, we'll get exactly who we drafted him to be. This has been a good night thus far. A good half of basketball for that young fella. Dalton Connect. I like Dalton's length. He showed much more strength on the defensive end. I think he had like 2 stocks, which is also steals and blocks for those who are wondering. It's a new term that they brought into the game last year. I'll probably be using it a little bit to kind of just incorporate steals, blocks, and deflections all at once. That's what a stock is. It just pretty much puts it all into one stat. He had quite a few of those. I think he had actually probably 2 of those or 1 of those. But you can see where the length really helped us. And I saw him do some good things defensively. A jump shot wasn't quite coming along like you wanted to, but he did get a nice 2-hand dunk, and I think he hit a mid-range jumper as well. D'Angelo Russell hit some tough shots. One which was a long 2 that he banked straight ahead, which I thought was a bad shot, but he made it. and he's doing good things out there. I think he's, it's all about getting his legs underneath him. We already know what he can do. Austin Reeves, equilibrium is a thing. Guys turning the ball over as we expected early in the first preseason game. That's just to be expected. But we've seen a lot of bumbling and fumbling, people stumbling over their feet and stuff like that. Miscues on passes. D'Angelo Russell and Bronny James had a situation where Bronny received a pass from D'Angelo and quickly shot it back to D'Angelo, and that's just a misread. You saw early misread as well. To finish the statement, they took it the other way. Somebody got the deflection, took it the other way. But there was also a situation where Jalen Hood-Schifino kind of ran into the far left lane, and it seemed like maybe he thought Dalton Connect would also, readjust and take the middle lane or something like that. But instead, Dalton received the ball on a defensive play and then proceeded to dribble in the same direction that Jalen was intending to run. But Jalen needs to readjust in that situation. You can't run the same lane as the man with the ball. If you are on autopilot and you practice run left lane, you got to find another way to get to your position. You can't run the same spot that the guy with the ball is dribbling into. It's just those type of misreads. That ultimately was something that they reviewed, took a million years to try to figure out because they thought the ball went off a Timberwolf, but it was actually it went off of us, and they ended up giving them the ball back. So that type of thing, I think it just comes with the preseason. It also comes with young guys just learning one another, and then from there just getting used to being NBA players. Sometimes guys are not going to do what they're supposed to do. You got to be able to audible out of autopilot mode so that you don't find yourself running into the back of your own player. So that was a little bit of a blooper there for Jalen Hood-Schifino. Although, if I'm being honest with you, I think Dalton Connect dribbled into a direction he probably wasn't supposed to go. But once a guy has a ball in his hands, he can go anywhere, especially when the defender's in front of him. He's gonna adjust whatever way he wants to. So that's when the player who's going in the direction he's supposed to be going has to try to audible and go into a different direction than what otherwise they've practiced. So these type of things have come with them reading, figuring out how they want to go about things, and I don't think we'll see a whole lot of that going forward. But so far, it's just been a great half of basketball for those who don't care about the score. We've definitely been losing. I think we were down by actually as much as 20 at one point, but our team's fighting. They got a lot of good energy on the defensive end. All players, even some of the ones who are not considered great defenders like D'Lo and Austin, have been fighting hard defensively. And I love what I'm seeing on that side. Even though it's not necessarily translating to stops, I think a good portion of what the Timberwolves are doing came from them just shooting the ball extra well. So this halftime video is going far too long. It's time to get back to the game, but I'm loving what I'm seeing. BDF 44, I thank y'all for watching. I'm out.